Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com. It's November 2025. It's been a while since I did a garden tour, so I thought I'd bring you out and let you have a look around. This garden tour is brought to you by my sponsor, Seaweed. Check the little thing at the end there. You can see the deal on shipping, free shipping, using my coupon code GAVS25. Let's go have a look. All right, so here we are outside the garden. And nothing growing here. And as you can see, this is supposed to be full of leaves. I normally gather leaves this time of year. But just the way things have worked out in my life, I've been unable to do that. I got about 8 bags the other day. That's all I got. So I notice I work in the city. I live out in the country, but I work in the city. And I just pick up leaves at the end of people's driveways. So I've noticed a few around. I just got to get a little bit more active in gathering them up. Okay, so I have been mulching with a bit of seaweed. I got out here with a friend a couple weeks ago and we gathered a bunch of buckets of seaweed. It's kind of a weird looking seaweed. It's very it's almost like wool. So I'm hoping it gives good results. So I planted garlic in this bed. This is all garlic. I mulched it with the seaweed. I'm going to get some leaves over there too, but that's seaweed. So I got a kale over here. And we've been harvesting that. Just give these look like they've been stripped off. This time of year we don't bother maintaining the plants. We want a meal of kale, we just come out and we just take them off like that. Because they're really not growing that much this time of year. They're still growing, but they're growing a tiny bit every day. They're just maintaining really. But this is the best time of year. The harvest kale, it tastes at its best. Likewise with this artwork broccolini, also still harvesting this. It's, you know, sort of past its best. I mean, the flavor is good right now. But you know, these have been producing since like June, July sort of thing. So the florets are small this time of year, right? This sort of thing, but still good. Still edible, still fine. So, I mean, if you stay on top of these, maintain them over the course of a season, they're like, you know, they're basically summer, fall plant, harvesting wise. Although a lot of pests do love them, so you do have to stay on top of that. I said there was some point in August I just stopped tending to these. I still harvested, but they were getting a lot of pest damage. I just stopped dealing with it. I just let nature take its course. So I probably lost half the potential yield by doing that. But on the flip side, I didn't have to worry about it and do anything, which I like. Parsnips still around, need to be harvested. Right, ground's not frozen yet, but that can happen in any week now. Right, this is like we're middle to late November now, so at some point things are going to start frozen in the ground. I got really nice parsnips. Some of them are, you know, this big around, 2-3 inches in diameter at the crown. Likewise with my beets, it's long overdue to harvest now. I've just been harvesting them as I've needed them. There's something getting out of there's something in the garden. I don't know what. I'll show you other examples, but the foliage on these should be higher. There's something getting in here and eating things like this. So this beet here, see, I got a nice beet, right? That's something ate the top off. So that's frustrating. Collard greens still growing well. Whatever's getting into the garden is not bothering the collard greens at all. I just let these go because the cold makes them taste better. But soon it's going to be time to harvest all of this and blanch and freeze. We definitely got all the collard greens we could possibly handle. I mean, I like collard greens. My family, they like them, but they're not their favorite green. So like the prospect of having collard greens every week, probably a little too much for them. This is more like a once every couple weeks type thing. So we got a lot of collard greens. I probably planted too much for my family's taste preference, I have to say. Here's a bed we just basically weeded and got ready for next year. Same with this one here. No mulch yet, as you can see. I planted garlic here and mulched with, you can see some leaves at the end there, but the rest just seaweed. I'll get some leaves over top of that. Still pulling carrots out of this carrot bed. Something's been getting in here and eating the tops off of them, but they're leaving the roots alone, so that's fine. And I got some really nice ones. I mean, these what are they called, satin or silky something. It's a white carrot. These got really good size. Now they turned green at the top because the mulch degraded and the tops were exposed, but the rest of the plant's edible, right? Anyway, these turned out really well. I'll definitely grow these again. I like the flavor. And if you're wondering why they're big, right amount of sun, right amount of water, right, good soil, and spacing. That's it. So all you got to do is have nice carrots. Over here, Swiss chard. I had a full garden of Swiss chard, and one night something got in here and ate all the tops off. Porcupine or maybe a deer, but I can't see a deer dealing with the barbed wire on my fence. A fence this high, they really can't clear it. They sort of shuffle over, at least the kind of deer we have here. I know there's deer, they say you can jump up to 8 feet high, but that's maybe mule deer. I've been here since 2011. The only time I've ever had deer in the garden is when I left the door open. They don't get over this, and I'm almost guaranteed if they do get over this, they're going to lose something very precious and valuable to their identity. Something I wouldn't want to lose, let's just put it that way. Yeah, I think it's porcupine or maybe rabbit that took the tops off of these. But I had a lot of really big, healthy Swiss chard, and it's all gone. So, that's the way it goes in this game. Sometimes you win some, you lose some. Over here I still have these green onions. They're getting down to the dregs. Probably have to be harvested soon. Right, whenever I want nice, these are like a red onion, but I grew them for the tops, but they still produce a decent bulb. So I just use those for salads and stuff like that. Some of them make a big bulb. Here's a good sized bulb here, right? Look at that. That's like a 3-incher. But it's all also a question of spacing and soil health and all that sort of stuff. This is a small bed, about 4 by 8, and these are the ones I started by seed, a pack of seeds, and I had green onions the entire season. I'm not sure if these are the kind you can leave in the ground year after year, like a bunching onion. I don't really know. I have to look up the variety. But definitely a success. Over here I just got different beds where the plants are done growing, and there's some weeds and stuff, things I got to deal with. Just one more chore. My raspberries have just been, you can see how they're cut off like that. You see the bite marks. Right, that one's been bitten off, almost like a beaver did it. Right, so whatever is getting into and that's despite this fencing around it, which I thought was protecting them. Yeah, something is really, I have to think that's a rabbit. They just grab them and pull them down and bite the ends off, and eat the tops. So I don't know if I'll be getting any raspberries next year. Just have a really hard, despite all the fencing and all the work I've done to establish a perimeter, something seems to find a way to get in and wreck my raspberries. It's very, very frustrating because I love raspberry jam. Likewise over here, strawberries. You see any strawberry greens? You know why? Something ate them. Same with here. The roots are still intact. It's sort of the end of the growing season. I'll mulch all of this and they'll come back next year. But there should be greens here. And this isn't dieback. This is them being eaten, right? Which I have to think it's rabbit or porcupine. They've been eaten right down to the ground. So it's kind of maddening when you put all this kind of time and energy into a fence and stuff still gets in. If you go around to the perimeter of the fence here, you can see, I don't know if it comes across in camera, but there's like a path beaten right along the edge of the fence. You can see that's an animal path there. I don't know what it is, right? And I can't just put some sort of trap there or whatever, aside from the legality of it. Some of my neighbors let their cats go. I know one of my neighbors has a cat that I see around here, so even if you could trap here, I couldn't do that in good conscience. I could live trap, I suppose, because I've got like neighbors' pets around. But something walks this perimeter, and it's getting in somewhere. Don't know where, and doing damage. Likewise, this pear tree. Beautiful pear tree growing really, really well. Something climbed up it, bit this off, bit that off, bit that off, bit that off, all the way up this central trunk, bit off main branches. I mean, this was a really vibrant, look over here. That's bit off, it's chewed off. That's chew mark, right? This pear tree was ready to produce next year. It was 9 feet high, had lots of branches, and it's had like maybe, oh, I don't know. I mean, you see all the sticks on the ground? That's from whatever, I mean, whatever was going to work here, they cut the end of these off, and they were after the tips, after the buds at the end. Look, they were up here, chewed that off, right? You climb right up to the top. Look at that. All the way up. I'd have to say that's a porcupine. It's definitely not a rabbit, right? And it's not a moose. I can't see a moose dealing with this. I mean, if a moose got through the fence would be wrecked somewhere. It's not. Its fence is all intact. And I can't see a deer getting up there like that. I never see that in the wild. It's a climber. And porcupine's the thing that would eat something like that. Likewise with this apple tree, it's getting trashed. Right, so yeah, it's kind of these things kind of get me down, you know, they're frustrating. I'm usually a pretty upbeat guy. Thing getting harvested out here is these Brussels sprouts. So I mean, this is not one of my best bet. I think the soil is a bit acidic. Nothing does well here except potatoes. But I planted these Brussels sprouts, and I mean, you know, I got results. Right, so we've been enjoying these, trying to pick as much. This is the best time of year to harvest them when it's nice and cold. Right, so I mean, they don't look like much, but they worked. So I'll definitely grow them again next year, give them a better spot. I think they could have done with a bit more diligent, either, you know, some really fine netting or something like that, but they were basically plagued with flea beetles, slug snails, and moths. Everything. Everything likes these, right? So, I mean, you still got a yield, obviously, but a lot of these Brussels sprouts, when you're cleaning them up to cook, there's like, you can see like little holes and stuff. There's things that have burrowed in there. So I have to get, each one I have to take away the outer leaves. And if there's anything in there, I got to get it out. You don't want people finding that in their meal, right? But I mean, they grew, so I'm happy with them. But yeah, definitely need a more diligent way to address the pest problem next year. Other than that, I mean, we're pretty much done for the season. Just, I like to, you know, a Saturday, I can't really do much on the weekdays because it's dark when I get home now. But, you know, I get home at like 4, 5 o'clock. It's dark, right? And on the weekends, if I can get out here for a couple hours, I just try to get every bed, get the weeds pulled, get a mulch on top, and just keep doing that to the ground. Do what I can. And then when the ground freezes, I don't think about it until next March or April, right? The goldfish pond, we're finally getting some rain around here. Goldfish pond is going back to its natural state. Every time we get a really good rain, all this clay washes in from this hill here. Now it's going back to its natural state of being a muddy mess. For whatever reason, the fish don't seem to mind. So, you know, the fish are there. Just waiting for things to warm up next year. We got a really sunny day. Sometimes you can see them around the surface around 1:30 in the afternoon, that sort of thing. Otherwise, I don't know what they're doing in there, but they're just keeping on. Anyway, that's where things are. Middle of November 2025. I had a really great growing season this year. You know, I'm looking forward to a break, but also can't wait to try a whole bunch of new things next season. I hope you like this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my podcast at maritimegardening.com. Check out my articles at maritimegardening.substack.com. Also check out the new YouTube channel I've set aside for my podcasts. So this channel, the one you're watching right now, is going to be just devoted to videos out in the garden doing stuff, sometimes in the kitchen doing stuff, but basically videos of me doing stuff. And I've made a separate channel called the Maritime Gardening Podcast YouTube channel. This is just called Maritime Gardening, this one. Maritime Gardening Podcast is where all the podcast episodes go, whether it's just me talking or I'm doing a conversation with a book author or some sort of other gardener YouTuber type guy. All right, so check all that out, please. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Maritime Gardening Podcast YouTube channel. Help to grow that. I think it's only got 130 subscribers right now. But this channel has, 55,000 subscribers. So please, if you're one of those 55,000, subscribe to my Maritime Gardening Podcast YouTube channel. Help get that going. All right, otherwise, until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.